What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Deck Knight project of a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, blueprints, the gameplay ability system plugin, and all of that good stuff. So today, I wanted to just go through some bugs with the inventory component that I'm seeing, and I also want to see if I can implement a quick kind of combo reset event for our state trees. So when we reach to a specific point inside of our animation within a melee combo, a dagger combo, what have you, we could tell the state tree to reset the combo and bring us back to idle so that you can't really continue a combo if you kind of wait towards the very end of the combo. But there's I don't know if it's multiple bugs or just one bug, but there's some issues with the equipment when using them at certain points of kind of unequipping. So for example, if I use the bow, and then like that, right? So I used the bow, but the daggers were still in my hand, right? So I gotta figure out what those reproduction steps are. Yeah, it's like that, right? But basically, as I'm kind of unequipping this and the daggers start coming out, and I activate that again, it doesn't properly activate it, deactivate the daggers. So I think inside of our range basic, at the very least, we probably have to do something similar that we're doing with our melee base, because I believe our melee base, we have a function that just, force activate weapon, right? So we might want to do that as well in our range attack, which I don't know, like, should it be on the ability level? Should it be on the state tree level? Should it, like, because like, for example, let's go to the range state tree. Yeah. Do all of these states, for example, need to have a task that says force activate weapon, right? Or do I just handle it within each ability? Like, I did want to also unify this under an ability as well. So maybe this is a good opportunity to do so. So let's do that refactor. So we're gonna do not red gameplay, sorry. So gameplay ability, like a gas course gameplay ability. So GA underscore ranged bow base. And here we'll have a function. So force activate secondary weapon. And we can just copy this. And more likely than not, it seems like something that could also happen at the root of it. So we could activate ability and just kind of store this stuff on the base level of it, right? And then we can call force activate secondary weapon. And we could just go here, do validated gets up the wazoo. And there you go, right? And so what we could do in theory now is, for example, we can go into the bow basic attack and we can do a couple things. Like, also targeting component seems like it's something that could be done. There's also activate second to hand. So it seems like I'm already doing this, actually. So that's interesting. So probably not that bug. So let's see. Thank you for the subscription there, Adoleo, there on YouTube. Much appreciated. But let's continue with this refactor anyway. So we need a targeting component. Great. Now let's just go into the basic. Let's reparent to both base, right? Now there's going to be a lot of duplicate stuff, so we can just nuke that. We should assume if we get to there, we'll be okay, but just to be certain. So something tells me there's an issue at that level of like trying to activate it. So we can try to debug it. So do something like that. Let's delete unused variables. Yeah, there's also this stuff we don't really need. We just gotta call this super. Go. Should be able to just do something like that. I think we can also replace that, right? Because I think we're doing that in the base, no? A character. So let's grab character. Let's just go through it. Instigator. Done. There's also the weapons component we're getting here. So we should be able to just do that. Nuke that. Anything here. Component as well here. Here. Give me a good amount of cleanup. Let's see. It's the motion warping component, which we should probably do as well, right? View. Boom. Bottom. And then, yeah, we're constructing it there. Great. Where else? Character, I think, is enough, right? Weapon component again. Right. No, wait, not yet. Construct projectile rotation. So again, we shouldn't really grab that blueprint. We don't need it, even though it's gonna be loaded into memory. We don't need to cast it. Why bother? And it is the same class anyway, so. So I wonder if I can get away with it being not the blueprint. I still need to do it because of the weapon component, but I could also just do get what, whatever. Another problem for a different day. So let's assume this is all correct. So I'm gonna see. So if we want to force this, so is the primary weapon active? Yes. So I'm assuming when the bug happens, something along the line here fails. So let's try. So it's obviously it's going to happen immediately, right? But so now if I use this, where are we at? So Interact is true. We get deactivate, right? But then do we get activate? Yes. So, access none motion warping component. Okay. Oh, grabbing it from the controller. That should be more valid. Do I still have breakpoints? Yeah, I do. Okay. So I basically have to send signals as well back to this unequip to make sure that like when we start doing an attack, like I wonder if I'm gonna get the, let's see. I want to try to see if I'm gonna get this the state tree dot primary, or what do I call it? Did I call it melee? I mean, can I just have to be that specific, I wonder? Let's just be specific and then we'll figure out if we truly need to. And yeah, we'll go back to idle. So let's debug this too with the rewind debugger. So what I want to do is activate the bow, and then as I'm waiting to unequip, I attack. And that worked. But it also consumed my input. So hopefully I can just uncheck that, and then that would work. There you go. And then I'm not going to do anything, right? So that part's fixed, I hope. But let's see if the second problem comes in. Where like, yeah, that problem still exists. Where as I'm doing that, as I'm gonna reload, I bring it back out. At least I have to time it. Yeah. So something tells me I need to also be interrupting the equip. Let's look at the daggers. So if I do it, this is a clip action, right? And this is canceled, right? Do we get canceled? Let's see. So I'm gonna do this. No. So I did get canceled. So I wonder, do I fail the task? Let's look at the trigger ability task. Do we have anything for cancel? No. So the fail. All that stuff for that. Yeah, no. I could make a state tree event to handle this. let's see if this will work. Send state tree event make. We do a tag. So state tree. This is input stuff, but yeah, gameplay event. Ability canceled. In daggers here, maybe I can listen to that event as well. And if it's canceled, just go to idle. So let's see. Okay, so didn't really work. Let's see if we get to that point, though. And maybe we can also debug it, right? So let's look at daggers. So I'm gonna do this. So it seems like it did go to idle correctly, but it seems like there's an order of operations issue, maybe, where by the time I'm activating or equipping them, like perform inventory action, and we go here. So by the time I'm getting here, I mean, I could, in theory, block during this, like, equip the bow and vice versa, but I feel like that would feel bad. So everything forces it out, right? And the weapon slot, we don't really equip this, so we should never really get this, but what we get here, equip and primary weapon slot, yeah. So something tells me by the time we get here, we're first calling this. We, deactivate this. So let's just put some print strings here. So deactivate primary. And then, so force, no. Let's just see what we get in terms of these print strings. So we get to activate primary. We get activate primary, then we deactivate primary, then activate again. So basically, my suspicion is correct. What's the word I'm trying to say? So how do we kind of safeguard this? Do I have to put like some, I don't know, a timer feels weird Or do we literally just have to say, you know, during that equip, I don't want to say during that equip you can't use the bow again. Yeah, see how that's all kind of fucked up? So what's the best way to deal with this? Do I have to like queue up requests? Or do I have to like delay until next tick or something? I'm just curious if this will work. Kind of. Nope. Maybe I have to... I mean, let's try it. So let's get rid of this delay next tick kind of thing. Let's look at the inventory action. Oh, this is when we actually equip it. So like from this point on, can I literally just block? The animation that block ability range. That's an example. Would doing something like this fix it, I wonder? So do this. Okay, so that didn't really work. Okay, so it kind of did. About that. So it's actually happening much later than I'd imagine. So even there, right? So I am curious if in these cases, do we also get here? Let's see. Let me just reproduce up to that point. Okay. Do we actually get here as well? No. I had to think about this for a hot minute. So I do that, we do that, and then bam, right? So we just need to make sure. What could be that problem? Like, it's clear what's going on, right? We deactivate the secondary. Like, do we have to, like, prevent... Do we have to prevent something somewhere? Gotta like sit on this and think about this for like a minute. Look at the problem again. Oh. We use this. We unequip, we equip, we use the bow. So what I don't understand is like we're adding this status dot block dot ability dot range, right? So I don't know why it's even letting me do that. Okay, so yeah, there's a certain point where that it's fine. Maybe I'm fine with that. No. Essentially, you know, I'm taking out the daggers. I eventually get to basic attack, right? Then we get here, and we activate secondary weapon and force deactivate this. When do we declare that? So it's pretty far out. So maybe that's my problem, where we want to just immediately set it, not wait for any other like possible condition, and then same thing for this. Like, who cares about this? Like, always just make it false, you know? I doubt it, but why not look? So, yeah. So that messed stuff up. Oopsie doopsie. What's wrong? So. Let's look again. Yeah, so essentially we eventually get here. All right. Okay, so this is the problem. We should just always do it. Hey, Talos. Things are going pretty good. This week was a long week, but getting ready for a holiday, so I'm chilling. But yeah, right now we're just working on the equipment stuff. trying to work on a bug where if you time it right while you're equipping the daggers, you know, you end up with both in the hand like that. So still dealing with the bug. And I want to fix the equip. Like, I guess like the equip itself should be more full body. I forgot how we would need to handle it with the blood masks and stuff, but you know, we'll see. Yeah, we gotta figure out why this is happening. So we time it, and you know, both end up in the hand. So I don't know if it's a call somewhere that I'm messing up. But yeah, that's where we're at. How you doing? I'm trying to think of the best way to ensure that we end everything the way we want to make sure we end everything. We don't allow unnecessary or unwanted equipping. Because again, the other option is to, I guess, extend this out. So when I equip the daggers, still happens. Okay, great. Let's see. Man, what the hell? Maybe I just need to get rid of these checks. Because maybe one of them is failing when they're not supposed to? Nope. Bang it. Gonna be driving me up a wall tonight. But if I can fix this bug tonight, I'll be able to sleep good. So we gotta really break it down. So weapon base is all this stuff. We don't really need that print string anymore, I don't think, but so we activate secondary weapon in hand. Like I feel like force deactivate permanent weapon, that should be always true regardless. So maybe we just don't need that flag. Same thing for now. That. maybe something fails where like something casts and doesn't get passed along or some shit. I doubt it, but try one more time. Okay. Did something forget? Did something not compile? Is this an ensure or is it a crash? I don't know. Yeah, okay, so I need to make sure I fix the function calls, it seems. Yeah, this week was long. My brain is fried. Well, we're almost at 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, so that's pretty good. And I think I want to start working on a tutorial on motion warping. So I want to maybe start prepping examples of that. Because I don't think anyone really talks about, and I could look it up, maybe I'm wrong, but at least on YouTube, at least from what I saw, they don't really talk about switch off conditions. I think maybe it would be useful to have those examples with the switch off conditions and stuff like that. I'm slowly working on planning that tutorial because I want to at least have one tutorial this year. Let me see. Is it going to crash again? No. Still a problem. Awesome. Yeah, some go over it pretty well. Others don't. But I think it might be worthwhile. I think it'd be worthwhile. So to me, it comes in the bow basic, right? So again, we need to do something crazy. I fear that something is happening sooner before it should be. So. So activate daggers happens, like officially it happens after yeah, the debug's kind of hard to read, but we activate the secondary at 1.7 seconds. And then at 4.2 seconds, we start activating the daggers. And then how does this work? So again, activate secondary is first, and then activate dagger happens. So can I safeguard this in a different way? Can I make this like type dot action dot like inventory? And this weapon base row or range row base can be cancel block. See if this does anything. Maybe that worked. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see if we get rid of this. Seems like it did the trick. Not sure if I like that solution though, you know? Like having to make sure that any sort of ability that I have that handles equipping does it, you know, like, or if I should like handle it elsewhere, or should it be like a timer or a queue or something, or it's like, hey, don't do two things back to back. You know, for example, like when we try to activate something, we check to see if there's a timer valid or something, so we kind of reduce how many things come in at once. But maybe it's okay. So I want to keep working on the dagger a little bit. The bow is in a decent spot. I did a bunch of bug fixes yesterday. I still need to introduce stats for how many bows. I also need to add a quiver. So let's add a quiver back onto the character. I think I have quivers from Fab. SM quiver. It's only 2, but you know, it's fine. Doesn't have to be extraordinary. And I wonder if I can... I don't know if it'll be worth it or not. Like, can I attach like a VFX of the quiver, like for arrows to be in it, you know? I wonder if that makes any sort of sense. But yeah, one thing at a time, right? So oops. Bow. Bow base. We could do it in this one, right? Then SM quiver. And this would be under extra weapon data. Then yeah, it would need this one. But like, we're also gonna have to do one with like a sword and shield one. So we're gonna have to maybe update this logic more. But first, we need to even put in equipped weapon data. So let's go into I just want to get to the actual skeleton. So there's back accessories, right? So I hopefully can reuse this one. So let's add quiver. Quiver 1, for example. Probably too much. Maybe too big. Not sure. But let's see. Maybe I can... Let's add a new socket. And we'll call it bow quiver. That's how you spell quiver, right? Let's try this again at preview quiver. Okay. And let's preview this with an animation. So bow. Basic, right? Let's see. Bow shoot start, right? Okay, so he's doing this. So things should be kind of sticking out in a way like this. I think that seems valid. So let's see how it looks. So yeah. So like that. I think that makes sense. So let's remove that, grab the name, and that's just gonna be the equipped. And we don't have to do any sort of relative transform. But now we have to go to base space, which again, this is stuff that I want to probably write into code at some point. Because yeah, we instantiate base weapons, instantiate base weapon mesh component. So we gotta do something very similar. So let's just kind of copy this. Oh god. We got a wildcat. I gotta let her out. Hi, Bubble. So we're going to do a lot of the same things for a moment. We'll instantiate virtual weapon. Is that what we want to call it? Mesh component, I guess. And again, we're going to have to do active and equipped versions of all this stuff too. We got ourselves a bot. Twitch, goodbye. It's the vista. So yeah, let's grab the extra weapon data. Do that. Gotta do extra weapon static mesh. That. So we do that. But then we have to also at the same time add the instance, I believe. So we also can then so there's also the component stuff we have here, so we gotta do this one as well. Extra weapon. Component. It's fine. Do that, and we just throw you in there. There. Now, static mesh. Self. That, and I should probably fix that for the bow, right? Or the projectile, I should say. Just hard coding it. So maybe I'll just do that. We'll check if that breaks anything in a moment. So extra weapon. Extra weapon. Adding instance. Great. Attaching. So this is where we do the right data again. Extra weapon data. Static mesh component. Here. Care about print change, right? So let's look at this all together. So we check we have valid character, of course. Extra weapon data. We get the static mesh. Again, we need to do it for also skeletal meshes down the line. We load it. Its own variable. Yes. We grab that. Yes. We add the instance. Yes. Extra weapon. Good. Extra weapon. Good. So in theory, once we actually call it at the top, it should work. So let's see. And of course, it does. So what did we do wrong? So weapon, bow, base, quiver, equipped, bow, quiver, scale. Yeah, it's all good. So let's go to weapon base and let's just fuck around and find out, right? So it's gonna be first the daggers, which is fine. Now the bow. So okay. We gotta do the equipped transform. Let's see now. Booyah. So obviously, it doesn't look great. So what looks good for the silhouette, I wonder? Like, I feel like, because it goes like that. So maybe where's the bow? There should be like a bow socket, right? Or ranged socket? Yeah, ranged weapon. That's the socket. Let's look at the bow base. So when it's on her back, yeah, it's back accessories. So don't know if I want to rely specifically on that one. So let's make a new one. We'll call it a weapon. And let's add back the quiver. Maybe the quiver can be smaller, but no, it's whatever, right? So now we add bow. I think any of these would be fine, right? Let's just put then the exact one. Just to make sure. So let's add, boom, boom, there you go. So let's grab back accessories and let's just grab as a starting point that transform. Looks kind of cool like that, right? But no. Up the paste and could, for example, kind of just go there. Like, to me, maybe it should be the other way around, right? Let me go equip bow, or maybe unequip, right? So he's gonna go like this. And his hand kind of goes there anyway. Hey, Coding Banana. I'm doing good. How are you? We're just working on bone placements. I wonder if it should be flipped this way. Well, no. It shouldn't be. So unless maybe we go like this. Maybe the scale for this is a little smaller. No. Just wonder how this should best look. Like, does that make sense? Sure. Let's just update this to be bow weapon. Let's look at this in game. And maybe it can be, you know, smaller. Like when it's hooked onto the back. Yeah, it's actually bigger. Like if I were to make that just 1-to-1. And there is some overlap that I don't like. Now I'm disappearing. I feel like first maybe like it's okay that these things can be a little out, right? It's not a big deal, but Yeah, figuring out how to reduce any sort of clipping. You know, clipping will be probably inevitable, but yeah, then we got the cases of like, okay, what happens when you have like the bow, but also the shield and stuff? Do we just let the shield take precedence over everything? Maybe. Like in general, it doesn't look terrible, but you know, there's always room for improvement. So, bow weapon. Like, I feel like this can be out more first. Let's check. Yeah, I mean, that just being out more, I think, helped a lot. And I guess the quiver can too. Yeah. I don't think that looks terrible. And if we look at this in slow motion when we fire, that, like, I'm totally fine with things popping in the hand. It's not the end of the world. Let's just look how it looks when we put things back. Yeah, that looks fine, honestly. But yeah, I need to figure out how to make something. Like, I remember a colleague of mine, he set up like blend masks within like a chooser, and we could kind of force a blend mask so that like if you weren't moving, it would be full body, and then if you were moving, it would just be upper body. So the next thing I want to try to figure out is how do we, like, can we create a particle effect of like the arrows? Because I don't want to, like, I could make a blueprint that has all this stuff in there and all that stuff, but I feel like having a single Niagara system would work. There's a lava orb, which I believe is a like some sort of mesh actor, right? Like, can I? Well, in the next like 15 minutes, we'll give it. Can we create a Niagara system for this? Weapons, there's bow. Arrow, let's do Niagara system. There should be mesh, right? So skeletal mesh loop. Can I do static mesh? Oh. Mesh arrays, mesh orientation. Basic mesh, mesh burst. Just do orientation. So NS, bow, arrow, in, or just arrows. So let's look. So we have this thing kind of spinning around, having a good time. So right, GPU sim fixed, local space. Now I want to place this mesh. Like, ideally, it will be something I can feed into dynamically. Yeah, there's my arrow. So what do I want to do, right? So I don't want to update the orientation. I don't want it to scale over time, right? I just wanted to kind of chill. And so what is it doing? So over the course of its lifetime, it seems like it is doing it. So I don't really want a loop duration, right? So is it like now, not super great. I do a loop delay. No, it's not what I want. I don't think so. Let me get the lava orb. Because this seems like it's, you know, just static, just chilling there, right? So infinite and loop duration 1. Is there also, I don't know if it's like, I definitely don't need a loop delay, right? So, but there's spawn, burst, spawn count. If I were to make that, yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that I want to make sure I can do. Like as I'm, like I can have a bunch of arrows and I can kind of put whatever amount I want, right? So maybe I don't want, so I don't want random. So I want none. What do I want? Orient to vector. And there's initialized particle. So uniform. I'm just looking at it. Okay, yeah. It basically flickers every like 5 seconds or something. So let me see. The life cycle, self, infinite, loop duration. I can't say 0, right? Does it fuck up? But yeah, initial orientation mode. I want to orient to vector. Oh god. I don't want random vector, but yeah, this is not good. So if I just do once and we're done. Oh. This it just randomly does the orientation, right? And it's random vector, so can I just do a like I don't want it to be random. So can I eventually maybe it'll be a user parameter, but like can I just put in a vector? System none. Yes. that do anything. Okay. That's something. There's that, right? Want to do 90? 80? No. 90? 90? Why arrow is a Niagara effect? Because I don't want to put a bunch of static meshes in. I think maybe it'll be easier if it's just a GPU Niagara effect. And I can kind of update how many can be shown if I wanted to pretty easily without having to, like, I guess, hide one of the static meshes and stuff. It could be, and because if I wanted it to be static meshes, I might have to make the quiver itself a blueprint so that I can track these things. Where I think if it's a Niagara effect, I can kind of track it internally in the weapon. Might be easier. I don't know. Just want to try some stuff out. I guess I could do like random. I guess it would be random, right? But I could be overcomplicating it, though. Who knows? I feel like maybe I am. Yeah, we were learning while making it, true. Yeah. I don't like the coordinate spaces, though. Like, what the fuck is happening? Well, I guess it's because there's also the minimum, right? So... I feel like it roll, pitch, and yaw, right? So I feel like Like, we're close, I just don't know how to... So if I make this 90, I also make that 90. That doesn't really do anything, does it? Local and then simulation. It's also, I want to zero that out on the coordinate space. Like, I want to make it vertical. I don't know why that's so random to do or difficult to do. Like, this I want, but the other way around. Can I make this -1? Okay, I can. Okay. So it would be random between 0 and 90, right? So if I were to make this like 5, there's no real difference. Now, is it because of the lifetime? Like, I had it before. Yeah, see, it disappears for a bit. Like, I would like that to be like a static thing. Obviously, it gives a huge paragraph on what things do, but still, like... The spawn count doesn't really do anything. The emitter state... doesn't do anything. Scalability doesn't really do anything. But visibility calling, sure. Like, I would want it to spawn multiple. Can I, like, adjust position roughly? Now there's a bunch, right? So, can I do like a small sphere? Maybe even smaller? So if I were to make 10 arrows, you know, you would get a quiver of like this. Which I think would be cool. But I just want to see what this looks like in the world. Yeah, see, it disappears, and I'm not sure what it's causing that. Let me look it up. It has to do, I think, with the lifetime. Maybe it's also fixed bounds. Let me see. Local space, I don't know if it needs to be determinism. Set once, so maybe infinite. Oh boy. No. To me, it feels like it's life cycle. I would like to just be once. I feel like that's the correct answer. Let's see. So loop behavior, infinite. Yeah, but like spawning at once though. Like, I don't want it to be like spawning like that. So to me, once. Like if it just doesn't disappear, you know? So something tells me, yeah, so is it this? Can I also make this once and it won't disappear? No. Is the mesh renderer doing anything? Particle state. Kill particles when lifetime has elapsed. Maybe, nope. Maybe that was, oh. Kind of flickered, but let's just see. Seems better. But obviously, yeah, we can kind of, we would make this potentially a, like a fixed thing. Like I see, like maybe like 8 arrows or something. And we could attach it into the quiver. So we don't want this one. Okay. I just do a. I think something like that makes sense. So let's just see what it looks like in practice, and then we can call it a night. So, like we would have to probably make a additional parameter, right? But let's just force it. So we would want to do attach Niagara system. Let's just see what this looks like. Does it even show up? It kind of does. Obviously, they're sticking out the bottom. But maybe we can do an offset up or a little less distribution and transform, offset mode. And just maybe a little bit of an offset. And there's our arrows. So that ended up working decent. Now see, like, let's see what it looks like in slow motion. When we activate it, you know. Now we can always like, because what I'm thinking, like, what I'm curious about is if I change the number, if I subtract it by 1 or something, does it also reseed everything? Or does it literally just I feel like it would, but maybe that's okay because it may look like they moved a little bit. So we can maybe, I want to try that out too. So user parameter, spawn count. And we can probably also tie this to, like, you know, mechanics of, like, okay, you have this many arrows and it takes this many to get new ammo or something like that. So I want to try. I'm going to say when we instantiate this, I'm gonna, again, this is just for stuff, so whatever goes. I'm just gonna do a function or event timer. And every 1 second, I'm going to set the value to something less, right? So we can add an event. I'm just going to make it integer for now. Oh, it's arrows. We'll instantiate it to 8, because I think that's the number that we're using right now, but let's see. I should be able to say quiver arrows. I should be able also to say minus. And I say set user parameter int. Call this one spawn count. Let's just see if we do anything. Can I do like a activate or activate? Reset, but let's just see what that looks like in practice. So it's just kind of adding to it. So maybe we do need to reset it by music. Let me just on. Let's see. Is it because of this lifetime? Let's see what this looks like in practice. Sort of? Let infinitely loop particles. So what if I deactivate it and then reactivate it with this like new number? Let's just see what that looks like in isolation. And let me just clamp this to 0. And we'll figure that out later. So what does this look like in practice? Does it go down by 1? No. Kind of. I might need to look into that. It seems like it's removing 2. You know what I mean? Like, something tells me we're close. It's not subtracting 1. Oh. I find weird. I don't know if the clamping did anything weird. Maybe I can just activate it again. Or maybe I can just set the aggravating. Oh. Okay. Maybe I know why. No. Impossible. This is 8. Right? Oh. And let's print out the. Okay. 7, 6, 5. Yeah. This way. Nothing really changing. Activate, but maybe if I don't reset, I'm assuming this will just make things work more and more. More arrows. Reset. Seems like it's also growing. I would love to figure this out. This would be cool to handle it through the effects, but I don't know. It seems to be also just adding. Like this one's sort of, but then it kind of just starts taking away too much at one time. So I wonder. I can find. See what the internet says. Much. I feel like there's something to this, but maybe I'm just wrong. ChatGPT is also recommending long ass stuffing. CPU fixed sounds. That. Lifespan maybe. And it's just I'm quite confused on or maybe do I need to do it the opposite way? Well, not even the opposite way, but like this. Deactivate, then we activate and set then here. Oh, two at a time. Well. Menu. Ah. I feel like I'm so close. Maybe I'm just like fighting something that's not necessary. Sure. Mm. Like we're on the cusp of this, honestly. It's taking too much. Instantaneous spend limit count limit. I make this 0 first. And here, set it there, but you know, I'll also set it here. Like, yeah. Oh, no. There. If I can say like, hey, you know, if this is not equal 0, good. Nope. What happened? Arrow count. Definitely broke something. I do. Got a kitty in the house. So it seems like it's just adding again. Sorry, I heard a cat meow. Fit well. You're so close. Adding too many arrows. It's in I wonder. It does. Okay, so it's still just adding more. Nope. Like, we got so close. Just particle. I don't know what I changed. Now we're having infinite arrows. Can I at least get it back? Because yeah, I've been streaming almost for 2 hours. I'm getting tired. Can I get it back to? To kill particles. It's true, but do anything? Maybe. Let's see. This is my only hope. Name. False. Does anything change? Let's just go through the motions again. Let's see what happens if I say deactivate. Do they get destroyed? After a second, do they? Has nothing to do that. Like, there's auto destroy and auto release. Does auto destroy happen when I deactivate? No. Particle. Wait. All the news. I thought it was like, unless I can't have that and this like other one. So sort of. What happens if I deactivate? Does it also just destroy because the boolean? Yes. Alright, I'm just losing track of everything. Now if I just do the arrow count, can we get back to where we were? Now, is it because of the lifetime being 3 seconds? Do we have to go back to square one? Some of this noise. I would like to know, will they be destroyed? No. What is the aspect that would be like? Is it a destroy component? Is that the only thing that would happen? Even after I attempt to destroy the component, nothing changes, right? We get here. So I don't know what the hell I did. Let's look. Initialize particle, right? Does this also have to be like no, be there forever? Yeah. But it doesn't destroy. Streaming for too long, so I think that's where I'm going to end it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Thanks for watching. It's always super appreciated. Enjoy your weekend. We'll probably be back sometime next week, so stay tuned for that. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.